Okay, welcome to another episode of Rooting for Laundry. I'm your host, Johnny McDonald. You could follow us at Root for Laundry on IG and Twitter, as it says on the ticker over there. Like, share, subscribe to the Facebook pages and the YouTube page and all that other stuff. We appreciate you come watching and spending time with us if you are. But you can watch it later. Whatever. This is episode number 29, and thank you again for joining us. Today we're going to cover the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we have a guest that is a big OKC fan, comedian, plays all over, done a lot of shows together on Long Island and all around. Give it up for my man Fat Jay. How you doing, Fat Jay?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us, man. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, I mean, great team. I mean, throughout their history, their short history in OKC, formerly the Seattle Supersonics. But you're a fan of the Thunder. How did that happen? You're from Long Island, and I mean, you can root for whoever you want. I'm not being, trying to,
So I wasn't really a big basketball fan, but my oldest nephew, Zach, he became a Thunder fan when he was like 15. So he's a gamer, and, I can't really bond with him over video games because
he plays 2K, right?
Well, the new games just have too many buttons, and I'm like so old, I can't figure that shit out. So rather than trying to figure out something to bond with him about, and he's like, yo, I love the Thunder. And I was like, all right, I got to learn about the Thunder.
You got to learn about the Thunder.
Yeah, so I started taking him to games. That was like our annual ritual when he was 15, 16, 17, and graduated high school.
So I assume you would go to, I guess, Knicks games, Net games, whatever?
Well, the first game we went to was when Carmelo came back to the Garden as a
Knick. Okay, as a Thunder. Yeah, I was there. I went to that game too.
That was the first game we went to, and then he didn't want to go. He wanted to see LeBron the following year, so we went to the Nets Cavs game. And
in Brooklyn. Okay.
Yeah, and then his graduation. He was graduating high school, going to UConn, turning 18. So I wanted to do something that was gonna blow the kid's mind. So the original goal was to take him to see the Thunder in Oklahoma, but there's no flights from LaGuardia or Kennedy that just go directly. So we were hemming and hawing. He was coming home for college, Martin Luther King weekend, and I was like, with all luck, we'll get a snowstorm, so we got to come up with something quick. So I happened to realize they were playing, the Thunder were playing the 76ers in Philly. So I bought tickets for him and I. We went to the Thunder Sixers game and sat right behind the bench.
Nice. Philly, you can get, Philly, you could, I mean, were they good at that time or not? They didn't have Simmons or Embiid, or they were probably injured or something like that?
Oh, no, they had Simmons, Embiid, Jimmy Butler was just traded to them.
So so they were good. Okay, so was that an expensive ticket, or that was like a...
I paid $1,800 for the 2 tickets.
That's not bad compared to Knick prices, or probably net prices.
The people next to us at the Sixers game were from Oklahoma. They were coming. They were playing. Thunder were playing the Knicks on Martin Luther King Day that weekend, and they paid like $10,000 for the same seats we had. So,
oh, nice. But that couple, like, they were doing like a tour of OKC. Any city they went to, they followed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it was a father and son. They had pretty much some money, but they invited us to go to Oklahoma whenever we want. So
nice, man. So that was good, and you end up going, right?
We ended up going. We were on TV.
We'll get to that story. We're going to save that for later, but we're going to get... So you were a fan since their inception to OKC, or was it like you got on...
I was a fan since 2015.
2015. Okay, so... all right, so so they left for Sonics. So you weren't even a Sonics fan, or your nephew probably didn't care about them when they were the Sonics. Yeah,
no,
got it. So
I'm familiar with the Sonics.
All that. Yeah, and then they moved to OKC and stuff like that, and then they became this powerhouse after like their first season. They sucked, but then they got Scott Brooks, the coach, and then they were you got Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. together, and that was
crazy.
Yeah, 3 MVPs basically,
Yeah.
3 future MVPs from there. So that team was all together, and then they had that run in the finals in 2012, against the Heat, and then they fell short. But that team, like, give it time, it was so young, so you weren't even on board with when Harden left, and
Well, what I needed to do was get all up to date from, pretty much 2010 when my nephew started watching, because he was going to ask questions.
We should have him on the show too.
Yeah, exactly. So I needed to know what was going on, so I had to do some research, and I saw all about the trade and everything. And Durant, I couldn't believe they got rid of Durant. That was crazy.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't more of Durant. Durant, was a free agent and he wanted to go. And at the time, it was like, and this was after they had that 3-1 lead to Golden State in the Western Conference Finals, and that was a big deal because they were about to upset Golden State and go to the finals. But they choked at the end, and that's when the turmoil was with Durant and Russ. And is it worth, Durant had the option. He was a free agent, and he was like, you know what? It was kind of a bandwagon jump. Like, all right, now you're doing what LeBron did, even though it's a little bit different because Golden State was already established. Whereas when LeBron left for Miami, like his 3 friends, other superstar teammates they all got together, and then they made it big. But like this team Golden State was already good. They won 73 games, and they were already good when they went over there, when Durant went over there. So now you add this guy, now you have the super team of super teams, So how did your nephew feel about Durant leaving?
Yeah, he wasn't happy about that, but he was a big Russell Westbrook fan more than anything.
Yeah.
So I had tagged you. They posted I think it was 10 years ago or 8 years ago.
Oh yeah, no, it's I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it now because I think it was 2017.
Yeah,
November 2017.
They went head to head. Now, a lot of people like Westbrook, and I get it. He's a good player.
Yeah, he's a great player. I'm about to say that season before that, when they won 47 games, he won the MVP, and he averaged a triple-double that year. Nobody's done that in a last person to do it was Oscar Robertson, and Oscar Robinson Westbrook broke Oscar Robinson's record for most triple-doubles in a game with 42. So that season was nobody ever seen anything like that.
100%. But now if you go and you watch this Westbrook guy, he's just a dick.
He's very I like his aggressiveness, and I like his attitude. It could be a love-hate thing. You know what I'm saying? Because Durant, Russell Westbrook at one point, you could consider him the best player in the league at one point. That year, you can and you can't, because at the same time, it's like, all right, you're the MVP, you have a triple-double, so you're either, so he's passing the ball too, but are you winning with that style of play of basketball? You know what I'm saying? Are your teammates involved with you averaging a triple-double? Are you just everywhere at every time? Because LeBron never averaged a triple-double for a season. He's put up a lot of triple-doubles, and he'll probably at the end of his career, he'll probably have the most triple-doubles because he's tall, he could pass. But Russell, it was just different. He's a 6'3" guy, so he's not that he's decent size for a point guard, but he's not that tall, but he's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So he could either do a lot of harm or a lot of good. So
the man is quick. The man is quick. And like you said, he is everywhere. But he's just a dick. He's questionable. I don't know. I like him. It's a love-hate thing with him. Like you like if he wins a game for you, you love him, and if he loses a game for you, he's like, all right, he might be his own worst enemy. Exactly.
That's the best way to put it. So he wins that MVP, and just they take by storm. And then the following year, they make the trade in that offseason. They retool after Durant leaves. They retool that following year. They bring in they trade for Paul George, Indiana, Victor Oladipo going, and then they bring Carmelo Anthony. They make a trade, so they got they got a new kind of big three, even though Melo was like, you know, at the end of his rope, and Paul George after coming off an injury where he damn near lost his leg, you know, same. So it's a new young team, but we don't know how they function.
And they were good.
They were good. They were good. Yeah,
They were good.
They were good. And then you talk about, I guess, your experience at the Garden, because I was at that game too when Melo first came back, and you know he got a good reception. You know,
100% got a good reception. They loved him. That was a good thing. You know, any time at the Garden it's a good crowd. You know, even though the Knicks suck so bad.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one day in our lifetime the Knicks will be good again, and we could actually afford to go to a game and enjoy that type of crowd.
That
but
probably will never happen as long as remember you're in the biggest market in the world, and Knicks tickets are really like, you know, they're damn near unaffordable. I've been lucky enough to go to enough games through connections, and it's a blessing. And I always seen it that way. That's why, you know, I'm unfortunate. But the thing is, I probably wouldn't be going to as many games if they didn't suck.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And because the people I know, the reason they have it like that. They can afford season tickets. And when they don't feel like going because the Knicks suck, they're like, hey, you want these 2 tickets?
and we always give away the shitty teams. You're never going to go see LeBron.
Yeah, it's rare. It's rare. I've been lucky enough to see some guys, but like it's rare now because like now games are posted more. Like the third market got control of the tickets, whereas like you have to buy them through the StubHubs and the Ticketmaster, ticket exchange outlets, and people hustling. People buy the tickets for the good games, and then they triple, quadruple the price. And in a market like New York, where people come all over the world, just not even in like New York, just to be a part of Madison Square Garden. I think any team that played in Madison Square Garden will do well because the fact that they play in the world's most famous arena, they will always draw. That's the problem with the Knicks, and that's the problem with Dolan. They draw all the time. There's not a problem business-wise for them. Financially, there's not a problem with the Knicks. The problem is on the court and the pressure of players wanting to come in and play here. So they will always make money. They're always in the top 3 in attendance. That will always happen because the market, the city they play in, the arena they play in, and to be seen. I mean, celebrities still go. It's a thing. It's what keeps their business thriving. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's where the problem lies. I mean, they'll never, as long as Dolan, that's why to sell the team chance. And Knicks fans are very passionate. I've been a passionate Knicks fan, even though I can't defend them anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can't defend the nonsense.
You can't.
Yeah, but I still go to games because I just love it. You know what I'm saying? It's a love I have for them.
And we watch the games. That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, but it's hard for people to boycott. Like, how do you sell? You can argue sell the team and boycott. But the people that are going are fans like, and no disrespect, but they're like fans like you who like the opposing team.
Yep.
Everybody comes for either the opposing team and they pay top dollar for their tickets through a third market party, or they just want to go to the Garden. At the end of the day, it's a fun time, whether you like basketball or not. You know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%. One of the best times. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in the nosebleeds or, but at the Garden's always a good time.
It's something different. Whereas when you go to the Barclays Center, it doesn't. The Barclays doesn't have that feel, or other arena for that matter.
But Barclays tries to do with the whole, the dancers and all that. They try to.
They're trying to build a fan because they have to build a fan base in Brooklyn, and the Nets really never had a fan base. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, like I'm glad to do a Nets show with Ryan DeCarlos and Adam Parsons back then, and they were there's Nets fans, but it's not a marketable team like the Knicks. That's why they'll never take over New York, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because they never played in the Garden. They played in Jersey. So if you ever went to a game in Jersey, it was the worst thing ever. In the Meadowlands, it sucked.
Horrible.
It's horrible. You got to pay for parking. You're in a big ass parking lot. It's not fun. The arena sucked. It wasn't a fun time. And then even when they moved to Newark, I was hoping they stay in Newark. I was like, yeah, build a fan base in Newark. You know what I'm saying?
The Newark Stadium is good. I like that stadium.
Oh, yeah, the Newark Arena is great. The Prudential Center, yeah, it's great. I mean, the Devils do well. They always have. You know what I'm saying? Because they won. I mean, the Nets were winning. You know, they had their moment in Jason Kidd era, but like after that, even like, you know, when they moved to Newark, I thought, you know, just build something here. Build something around the community here.
I agree. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Brooklyn's more marketable at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yep.
And I mean, but their tickets aren't cheap either. I mean, because they play in New York, they have to, you know, because the taxes, all this, you know, New York City, everything is inflated by, you know, doubled. You know what I'm saying?
It's a crazy world we live in here in New York.
Yeah, it's double, tripled. So, all right, we'll get to that time. November 2017. Golden State, OKC. Kevin Durant's now a Warrior. This is, I think, his second season with the Warriors. And there was bad blood after he left. Russell was like, because when Durant chose to be a free agent, Russell was like, the hell with this. I'm staying here. I'm going to sign an extension. I'm going to stay here, remain loyal to the team, resulting in that MVP season, that single season phenomenal season. And then, you know, then they have that moment, and you were there. Talk to us about. I heard OKC is a great atmosphere for they appreciate their team.
I'll tell you that the fans that were next to me in Philly, they're diehard because there's no other team in the area. So he was like the guy. Was
as
like,
far as professional, I know they're more collegiate.
Yeah,
you know,
but,
town. You know
like,
what
they sell out. People love going to the games. And you know, that's how it is in some place. You know, we're spoiled here in New York. I guess California, those people get spoiled. There's so many teams, but you know, when you have one team, what else is there to do? You know, so I mean, they had that bad little fight on the court.
Yeah, they had that little argument, and you were like front row.
I wasn't there for that. No, I wasn't there for that. I wish.
Okay. But you were at a game I saw, you were front. That was the Philly game, I assume, then?
That was the Sixers game, yeah. Sixers.
Okay, yeah, because I saw it. I was like, oh, sure. But you were, that Russell Westbrook exchange with
Durant. That was. But he does that, you know. See, and watching him live, if you go to a game and see Russ live, he's just such. He's just he talks shit to everyone, and I get it. I understand it.
You have a lot of friends buzzing in, by the way, talking about. So
you know, as a competitive person, you want to talk shit to people, but he just does it, you know, under the breath, you know. And then when they go back at him, you know, he cries to the ref. You could see it. You have to go see Russ live and watch him cry to the ref after he starts the beef.
Yeah.
You know, we're New York kids. You know, you don't start beef with the kids on the corner, you know, of your block and then run home and tell mommy they beat you up, you know. Tell her you started the shit. Eventually, and that's what he does. But I just one day I want to see someone knock him out like the same.
Well, now he's not with the team anymore. Probably.
No, but I mean, I just want to see someone knock him out anyway. Because you watched him in the playoffs, he was talking shit to everybody on the Thunder.
Yeah, and he had that incident. Remember that incident with a fan? I mean, even though the fan said something, you know. There's a lot of fans that cross that line where they really overextend sometime, and you be like, all right, listen, you know, we're human too at the end of the day. It's like getting heckled at a show, and you know, almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, these guys are billionaires, but sometimes it's like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna come over there and whoop his ass. And
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
It's
you
tough,
get those times. I respect his gangster. He always had that swag. Yeah. And his fashion sense is one of.
I want to watch someone else in the NBA beat him up. It doesn't.
Yeah, I think he'll give a good fight. Yeah, he might be a guy. And he's an LA kid, so I think he's from Long Beach. So he's from the hood. So he's not that guy. He's not that guy. I don't think he's the one you want to cross paths with. So after that, after that 2018, around that, now you're witnessing the team the last 4 seasons after that, they blew that 3-1 lead with the Warriors in 2016. They just get to the first round, get to the first round, get to the first round, and now they make the trade for hold on they make the trade for they make a big trade. They trade for Chris Paul.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And they make that trade, Russ for Chris Paul, and they make the trade, another key trade, Paul George, they trade out for to the Clippers for Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari. And the result of that team with now Chris Paul and a bunch of these younger guys, and, you know, and the Melo time where Melo got you, they just traded him to Atlanta and dumped him, and then Houston picked him up. But there's a new young team with Chris Paul. And I was thinking Chris Paul would be out of there. He'd be like, nah, I don't want to stay here with these young guys. I don't know who to, I don't want to play with these guys. But he stayed there. So talk about, I guess, when they got CP3, how were you feeling?
I mean, I'm a fan. The guy's good. He's quick. And like you said, how long is he going to stay there?
Yeah.
With all the young guys, but he stayed and they made some moves, and they're good. Of course, again, they lose in the first round. I think they lost to the Rockets, then they lost to the Jazz. But again, it's in team sports, I guess it's tough. It's all about the chemistry and all of that, and Is Chris Paul the difference maker? I thought he was going to be. I was hoping for that. But it turns out he's not. But,
Well, I look at it. It was very positive. I mean, they won games. Instead of Chris Paul saying, I'm going to get out of here, he's like, no, I'm going to play here and play with these young guys and show them that I can lead them. He's the veteran. He's the guy. And just to and he led them to the playoffs and that 7-game series against Westbrook, Harden, and the Rockets. They took them to 7 games, the bubble year that we had, you know what I'm saying? They took them to 7 games. And so you saw the impact Chris Paul had. And, it's freaking great.
And I think next year they're going to get over that first round hump.
Yeah. Yeah, he made the All-Star game too.
They have a lot of young players that are hungry.
Yeah.
And you could see in that Houston series, they were looking good.
They were really looking good, yeah.
Again, you're playing Westbrook and Harden, but going to Game 7, that's tough, man.
Tough.
And Game 7 could have went either way.
Could have went either way. Yeah, it was a great series. Excellent series. And Houston on paper was a better team, and you have, 2 guys, former OKC guys, Harden and Westbrook, 2 former MVPs. I don't think you're beating those guys.
Yeah, they're tough, man. But
yeah,
I'll tell you, Oklahoma would have went nuts if they would have won that.
They definitely would have.
I think they would have went nuts if they would have won that.
Yeah.
I mean, redemption, what do you call that? Is it redemption? Is it a fuck you? Obviously Westbrook didn't really want to get traded, but when you're good at getting traded to that team, you got to be happy eventually,
Yeah. And OKC, it's hard because it's not really a destination for players. Oklahoma's like, why would I want to play there? I remember Durant, when he was there, you would say the right things like, yeah, I'm never going to leave here, or, he'll run into fans. He loved that it was so low key. He can go to the supermarket, just do normal things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That he wouldn't be able to do in any other bigger market, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, that's the tough part of being like that famous,
Yeah. But when you play in, such a small market, you're probably not going to get the max amount of dollars. And it's probably tough for people to stay there. It's like, I don't want to stay here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Plus, they're playing in the wintertime. So, those people are rich. They probably have, houses in Miami.
Yeah. They can go wherever they want. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, bringing the family to, 10-foot snowstorms, they're probably not really into that. But again, when you're living in a mansion, I really don't think that matters.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like when people moan and groan, we're not athletes, we're not in the NBA, so we don't know what they go through exactly, but it's like you can live wherever. I assume you can live wherever you want, if almost, or
Yeah,
have
again, we're assuming,
multiple
but
places to live, multiple places
yeah,
to live.
absolutely. That must be
Yeah,
nice, right?
yeah, must be. So, like you said, 2020, we're in present time. They lost, and the head coach Billy Donovan now is out. He leaves to go sign. They didn't renew his contract. It was a mutual parting of the ways. I was like, yeah, I'm out. It's like, yeah, all right, cool. That's no problem. No hard feelings. So now he signed to be the head coach with the Chicago Bulls now, and the coaching. OKC doesn't have a coach right
No,
now.
not yet.
Yeah,
But
not yet.
I mean, like? Okay, so it seems to me that these teams are going the younger. Like the Nets signed Steve Nash to be their coach.
Uh-huh.
So you don't know who they're gonna pick. Like, it's definitely gonna be this guy. It's not like it used to be when we were growing up.
You
You
knew
had
who the coaches were. If they had experience, where they were
yeah.
going.
You
Yeah.
don't know what these guys are gonna do nowadays.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it'll be interesting who they pick, and it's still early. But do you see Chris Paul staying there? I mean, there's rumors like he's always on the market now. I've heard the rumor of him coming to the Knicks. I heard the rumor of him. I don't think he's unhappy, but I guess it's just a business thing to do. You know what I'm saying? You have an older guy with that's getting paid quick getting paid a decent amount of money. So I think it'll be the Thunder be like, all right, we probably need to go younger. So would you be like, all right, Chris Paul, if he goes, he's fine,
At this day in this whole thing now, you never know who's gonna stay and who's gonna
Yeah.
leave, and it's you know
Shout out to Michael Zimmelman. Yeah.
Yes,
Kenny Atkinson's a good catch. Yeah.
100%.
Talk about, yeah.
But if he should stay, they were in the playoffs. You were in the playoffs.
Mhm.
And that's the thing, like to me as a fan, you're in the playoffs. Yeah, you lost in the first round, but let's see if you can get to the second or third round, next season.
Yeah.
But again, it all comes
Well,
down
it'll be
to
tough.
money.
And it gets tough because remember the West. If you go to the West, it's hard. You got to deal with the Lakers. You have to deal with the Warriors, the Clippers. Yeah, you got to deal with the Warriors who, had a bad season, but that's probably the best thing that can ever happen to them because all their guys sat out hurt, and now they have the number 2 pick in the draft, and they're going to be good again.
100%. They'll be good before we know it.
No, they're going to be fine because like that's a year, you sit everybody out that year. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's hurt. Clay's hurt. Steph's hurt. Sit them out. Now you're in a position to get a top pick. You either keep that pick or move them and get another great player, and they'll be back winning games like they never left.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
So Mavericks are another dangerous team with Luka Doncic, and if Porzingis stays healthy, that's another dangerous team. Even the Rockets, if they keep Westbrook, they're still there's a lot of the West is a tough out, man. So anybody to survive, that's why I give credit to that OKC team. I give credit to Chris Paul because that team wasn't supposed to be that good, in my opinion.
Yeah, they weren't, and they made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to be that good, and they pulled off a winning record, and it was great.
We'll see what happens, but we don't even know when the season's starting this year.
I think they said in December. They definitely remember the draft's in November, and I think the season's starting in December. One thing out of all the leagues in professional sports, the NBA is one of those leagues that they know what they're doing. They showed that they know what they're doing. It's a players' league. They're going to get the play. The players are going to get ready. The players are going to like with the bubble thing. You know what I'm saying? It was just great thing. They tested people. They did all the right things. You know what I'm saying? And
I agree 100%.
And even though like when I watched the finals with LA versus Miami, I think the Heat benefited from the bubble a bit because the season was stopped abruptly. And when it was stopped, and when the season was stopped, it was shout out to Doug. Yeah, Doug. Yeah, December 22nd. I think it is starting back. They're gonna have the draft in November. I think mid-November, and after that they'll be back in business. But
Hopefully
yeah,
soon.
yeah. No, well, yeah, they're gonna be fine.
22nd.
Yeah, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna see some more basketball. And all the teams will be playing. So unfortunately, I get to see the Knicks probably stink. You know what I'm saying? In
They
the
gotta do
bubble.
something. They gotta do
Yeah.
something. The Knicks.
It's too much. Dolan has to sell the team or something bad has to happen. I don't wish bad on anybody, but something has to happen to Dolan. I was hoping something happened to Dolan, like something happened to Donald Sterling with the Clippers when they caught him for the racist rant or whatever. And they's like, no, Adam Silver's like, no, we got to get him out of here. So he was forced to get rid of the team. Yeah. So I'm hoping Dolan, there's some naked pictures or something happens where he's forced out. But it is from right now we can't. That's how mad I am. I knocked down the freaking. That's how upset I get now. Now I'm mad.
But the good news is you're sitting in between two jerseys, and Cohen just got the Mets, so you got to be happy about that.
Say that again.
You're sitting between two jerseys, and Cohen just got announced that he's going to.
Yeah, that's bad. I think the Mets situation isn't as bad as the Knicks situation, but I mean, yeah, Cohen, that's great. I mean, yeah, thank God something new is going to happen, and it should have a positive effect. I don't think we'll see the outcome right away.
Yes, I agree.
But eventually, things will get better. But we'll see.
We'll see. And hopefully one day we'll get, picked up and we could do a road gig and go to Oklahoma and do a gig.
Oh, whatever. Yeah. I'm down for that, man. I'm down for anything, man. Yeah.
If we could get on the road, I know some people down in Oklahoma, they'll get us into the gig.
Yeah, you probably may, tickets. Yeah, nothing's more fun than doing I was lucky enough if ever I had a gig out of state into a town, I can, get some stage time and go to a game. And that's always fun. I do that a lot in LA, did it in Chicago. It's just, it's always fun to
it's a good time,
get out there. Yeah, always a good time, man. Well, Fat Jay, thank you so much for joining me. Anything you want to plug before we go?
Just keep watching the Rooting for Laundry show. And you can see me every Wednesday on Chewing the Fat with Cara Amore and Fat Jay. We do keto cooking. And yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Let's just keep plugging away. Hopefully comedy opens up soon and we can start doing real shows again.
Definitely.
And November 13th, me and you, we're doing a show in Brooklyn. We can't tell the location, but
yeah. That's why I didn't want to say anything. I was like, is this legal or not? But
well, they put it out, so I guess it's not
legal. Yeah. I guess we could.
So come check us out. We're pretty funny. And we have a good time, right?
We're all right. Yeah. All right, thank you for joining me, man.
I'll see you soon. Man.
I'll see you soon.
Have a great day.
All right, bro. Later. All right, guys, that was Fat Jay. Follow him on his social media. Follow him on his Instagram. Follow us at Root for Laundry. Thank you again for joining us. My name is Johnny McDonald. Follow us, Root for Laundry, IG and Twitter. Like, share, subscribe. And next week, I have another team and another guest. Thank you again. Have a good one.